and welcome to Unscripted number 3. We have with us the master, that is Danny Stringer, who is officially the assistant manager of the Legion team. Is that right?
Just about.
He is the manager of the Legion team. He also stepped up to manage the Celtic team midway through the season as well. So we've got Danny with us today. It is Unscripted. Danny, you'll agree there's no letters or anything like that for us to preempt what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk about anything, aren't we?
No, nothing at all.
Okay, so what we're going to start off with is, and we've done this before, is how many games you've played and stuff like that. So we actually did some stats on the Instagram before, and I found out the other day it was wrong.
All right, okay.
So you've actually played an extra game. You've now played 228 games, and you've scored 12 goals, got 14 assists, 3 yellow cards, and no red cards. How?
You tell me. I honestly couldn't tell you. Some of my tackling over the years hasn't been the best, but I get away with it. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I do.
You did one against Cheadle Albion, didn't you?
Yes.
Cheadle Albion,
yes,
and that was naughty.
Over the ball.
Yeah.
It was a leg breaker, but I got away with it.
Do you know how many player of the matches you've got?
5 or 6, I would say.
You got 12.
It's better than I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So your debut was actually earlier than what we put on Instagram, so we put down it was the 10th of the 8th. Now, officially that was your debut for the reserve team,
yes.
But you actually played for the third team the week before, and you played against a team called Bagley Lads. You didn't score, you didn't do anything. But the week after, you played for Nick, and then you sort of stayed with Nick for the rest of that season. Yeah. And you played with, they were called Withenshaw Town, the team you played. Do you remember anything about your debut?
No, did I? I think I might have scored. Did I score?
You did? Yeah. You scored on your debut. It's all gone downhill since then, Danny.
Yeah, really downhill.
So we've got 20 minutes to have a little bit of chat about everything AFC Stockport, a little bit of personal stuff as well.
Yes.
Once the alarm goes off, that's it, we're done. Yeah. We're also, there's some people have put some Instagram questions on, which I'm sure you've had a look at.
Just one.
Yeah, so if we have time at the end, we will have a look at that. So first of all, let's go personal. Yep. Okay, so a lot of people aren't aware that when you was younger, there was an incident which results with you having a metal plate in your head. Do you want to discuss that?
Yeah, so all of this, eye socket, 2 eye sockets, cheekbone, the lot is now plate. I got beat up off a group of lads. There's about 15 of them and me and my mate. I was the worst one out of the lot of them. I'm still here to tell the story.
And it was an unprovoked attack, wasn't it?
It was
just walking past
I was walking home in the snow with a friend of mine, and we got jumped by a load of lads in Hyde, walking home. It was 11 years it was 10 years last February. So a nice anniversary, but like I said, I'm still here to tell the tale.
And that's the main thing, and I think a lot of people at the club probably don't know that. Some people do, but not a lot of people. And it was quite severe. You were in hospital. You're in a really, really bad way, weren't you? Really bad way.
Yeah.
And I think there's pictures on your Facebook or something, isn't there? Or
there's Finkenstrom as well.
Years ago. And it was mad because when I've seen the picture, when you look back at it, you look like a baby. You look so young. That first of all, it's just like, how has this happened? Yeah. And then to know that it was an unprovoked attack, and it was a group. It wasn't just one person. It was a group. You must have thought at that point, oh dear.
Yeah. My mum says now she was in the hospital and went, oh, that poor lad, and walked past me. She didn't even recognise me. Wow. She noticed my best mate in the bed next to me. That's how my mum knew it was me. So.
Right, wow, that's unreal. Well, Danny, listen, we're all happy you're here with us most of the time. Sometimes. No, we're all happy you're here with us, pal. And I think, it's a story. It just shows that life is so precious. Yeah, and you have to take it with both hands. And let's go on to something a lot on the other side of it. Talking about life is precious. You've got a couple of kids.
I have got Phoebe, who's 5, and Harlow, that's 18 and a half weeks. I think.
18 and a half weeks, yeah.
Yeah, no, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah, and Phoebe, she was involved with AFC Stockport for a little bit, weren't she, with the little stars and
stuff? She likes swimming more, so when it was, I had to get her there and all that. So
we have to create an AFC Stockport swimming club.
Yes.
Right, I'll look into it. How are you finding being a new dad again with Arlo?
Fine, it's good. Sarah is mint, so it makes my life easy. I don't have to do a lot because she does it for me.
So it's a bit like everything really, isn't it?
Pretty
Including
much,
AFC.
yeah, she's the boss. She is.
So you mentioned Sarah there, Sarah Shatwell. She's quite new to the club, but she's been in the club and she's absolutely smashed it straight away. Where she's become quite a big figure regarding back of the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where did you meet? I don't even know.
Facebook.
Was it? Did you stalk her?
It was a random Facebook message. One night United were on in October 3 years ago.
And did you message her?
And I messaged her.
Tell us the story about how quick it blossomed.
Messaged her on Sunday night. We met on the Monday night. She moved in 9 days later. We were together. We were together about 3 weeks later.
Wow.
Officially together 3 weeks later.
Do you know what though? It just shows you that it doesn't matter how long you're with someone. If you know, you know. I mean, like you guys are together now. You've got a beautiful little boy as well, and she's brilliant with Phoebe. We see her all the time with Phoebe as well.
Engaged, planning a wedding and all that now. So.
Oh my gosh.
Another
my gosh. Right then. So we know Sarah's the boss.
Yes.
Even at AFC Stockport, she does a lot of the admin for you. Even in the managers group and all that kind of stuff, and that's cool. But if we come away from there now, we know a little bit about your family and all that kind of stuff. We'll have a chat about your all-time 11.
Yes.
So a bit like Oggy and Nick Pryor, we said we wanted to do an all-time 11 with you to see who it was. The people watching will be able to see it on the screen now. So you've picked, there's a few faces there which people will know straight away, but I just want to discuss a couple of people. So you've gone for three at the back, three centre-backs, Oggy, Taylor and Wilkes.
Yes.
Now Wilkes seems to have been around forever and a day. Why has Wilkes made it into your all-time 11?
He's consistent. He's constantly doing what you ask. He's reliable. He's there every week. It sounds silly when an all-time 11, but he's the first name on my team sheet because he plays for me at the minute. He's Mr. Reliable for me, so he gets in my team.
One thing I know, I've ref Wilkes a few times and I've pulled him. He's so sneaky. He's Mr. Nice Guy. And Adam Wilkes, I know you're not on the pitch, bit naughty, pushy, pull, all that kind of stuff. He's quite clever when he plays. He deserves more credit than what he gets. I know he got Players' Player last year, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
But he is an absolute quality player. So his consistency has got him into your all-time 11. So if we go to the top end, we absolutely love this guy. His character and everything, Wilcox.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Wilcox and why he's in your all-time 11.
I only really played with him for one season, but again, he was consistent. He was doing the right things at the right times. He was scoring goals. He was doing what we need him to. I think it was the Sats at the time. So
with Wilcox, do you not think as strikers go, he was a menace to defenders, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Strong, powerful, quick, everything you want really. And when he played with Ant, who I've got in the team as well, they were just good together and wouldn't score worldly goals. He was in the right place at the right time. I think Wilcox would do the hard work, so he didn't really get the credit he deserved, but does at the same time, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it.
He was a beast. I know Nick raves about him all the time. He's an absolute beast. He could score wonder goals and he could hustle and bustle and score scrappy goals. And I think that was a big credit to him as a player. I think he, like you say, with Anthony Royal, he would always seem to be in the right place at the right time, while Wilcox, it was more graft.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If that makes sense.
I agree with that.
So, that's with your all-time 11 there, you've got to mention T, because he'll be disappointed if you don't. So, Toby's only played for a little bit, so why has he made your all-time 11?
Well, he's been about forever, hasn't he? So ever since I've been at the club, he was Finn's age at the time. And he's just grown, and when he come to play for me, when he first turned 16, he'd become a big part of the team. He was a character, and he'd grown up a lot. And a bit like a dad figure, because he was so young at the time. It was just nice to have him there and nature him a little bit, and you'll be all right, don't worry. But he's just a good player and a really, really nice lad.
Yeah, not like his dad.
Not like his dad.
Cool. Okay, so that's your all-time 11. We've got that on the screen and everything. Just going to move on to the management side of it a little bit now. So I asked you to become a manager.
You did.
And you came on board. Which team did you manage first? Was it Rangers, wasn't it? And that was, they went through a transition where we released a manager at the time. It sort of went all over. I took over, Josh Thompson took over, and then you took over, and you've sort of blossomed since then. How have you found the transition from player to manager?
At times difficult. When you very first asked me, I was going to say no. Sarah talked me into it for multiple reasons.
So it's Sarah's fault?
So it's Sarah's fault, yeah. But no, slowly but surely we're getting used to it. We're building a team now. It's been like 2.5 years. So we're building a team now that's consistent, and we had players in that didn't really want to be there. We had players trying to bring mates in, but that's not how the club runs, and it was hard at first, really hard. I've had a couple of times over the 2.5 years that I was going to say no, I don't want to do it, but I'm still here. So.
And why are you still here?
Because it's something I enjoy doing. It's something I want to do. I want to be better. I want to make other players better. It's just hard at times. But plus that's life.
You can pick the team, can't you? And you can put yourself centre mid.
I can.
So going into it, you've played every season since you've joined AFC Stockport. You've played every season. You know what I'm going to talk about. So from your debut in 2014, August 2014, you've played every year. But 1 year you only played one game.
I did.
And did you play in goal that game?
I can't remember.
I'm sure I've got in my head that you played in goal. I don't know why. I've got in my head you played in goal. But what was weird was, do you know you got player of the match that game as well? Yeah. So there was one season, it was 2014, 15? No, it wasn't 2019-20. And you played one game. It was and it was against the reserves. So it was an in-house friendly against the reserves. You got player of the match, and then you decided to kick it into touch. And then you went to play for another team, didn't you?
I did.
So why did you kick it into touch? Where did you go? Why did you come back?
There was a few reasons at the time. I weren't enjoying it. I just weren't enjoying it really. I wanted to change, like people do.
And you've been here quite a few years.
I have. I went to Stockport Cosmos with Tony and a few other lads that I knew. I played in net for them. Did a full season. Didn't enjoy playing in net. When I met Sarah again, we were just talking about the club and where we played and all that, and we just got to talk about the club and thought, I just want to go back. So that's where I want to be. I want to be at AFC, and I messaged you, and the rest is history, as they say.
Cool. So you enjoyed it. I mean, we like Cosmos. Tony's a great guy.
Yeah, of course.
Runs his club really well.
Really well.
But it was good that you felt like AFC was more of a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So this leading forward to now is, I think, next season. When you play next season, you actually earn the Decade Achievement Award at the club, which is tough to win, because it's not just about playing 10 seasons, it's about playing 10 consecutive seasons, and playing that one game in 2019-20 earned you the opportunity to get the Decade Achievement Award, which only a handful of people have won previously. So that's brilliant. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go onto Instagram. We'll ask a few questions. Go onto our little Instagram account here. So you had a few questions. There's about 5 or 6 questions. So we'll go through this. Mike Jones, just been yellow carded today. Mike Jones, his question was, what made you come to AFC? So when you originally came, what made you come to AFC?
I actually come with a friend.
Who was it?
It was Louis Gamble.
Louis Gamble,
John Talley was my cousin, and they all played at the time. They all left to go and make their own team, I think, in the end.
They play for Romley FC now, don't they? Louis Gamble.
No, it was Bredbury FC.
They went to Bredbury. They've started again. So it was Bredbury FC that was called. Yeah.
I just stayed. I enjoyed it. So
you preferred to stay at AFC?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's quite good for the club. That you thought, I like it here, as opposed to go with your mates. So that was pretty good. Okay, so that's the reason why you came. If you could have any AFC Stockport player, over the years where you've been at the club, who would it be? any one player. So there's one player you could have in your team, any point, and this is from Wes Lawler.
I don't know, it's hard that. Probably someone like Caddy, who was just calm, did simple things, didn't really do anything he didn't need to do.
Apart from a step over.
But it worked for him. So, yeah, probably someone like that, simple.
And that's an age thing as well, isn't it? So you get more experience, obviously, the older you get.
Yeah.
So it's easier. And I find that, I think, like, I hate running around after little kids, but then you'll do something in a game that was just dead simple, and you can see the little kids don't, because they're a little bit more rash and everything like that. And that's where Caddy was good at that. Yeah. Caddy was quite composed on the ball. He very rarely gave it away, Caddy, very rarely. Yeah. But he did like a step over.
Oh yeah.
Merman, Stephen Merrick, you know this was coming. We've just had fancy dress. Here's a picture of Danny at fancy dress, and that's Shania Twain. And Stephen said, was Shania Twain a fancy dress outfit, or was it your alter ego?
No, it was a fancy dress.
Are you sure?
Yes. One of my favourite songs is Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Do you want to go for it?
No. So yeah, it just had to be done.
Okay. We had Ash Artenstall, the Vets manager. His question was, when are you going to play the Vets in a friendly? The Vets think you're now starting to run scared.
I've been busy. We'll sort it.
Are you going to play them
yeah.
pre-season? I think
they'll be done before the season ends.
Yeah, I think for the Vets, I think what they want to do is your team was the first team they played pre-season, and I think they want to just have a friendly at the end of the season to see how far they've come as well, and to see how they compete now with your team. But in the same principle, your team's developed as well, so. You know, it could end up biting them on the bum.
Yeah.
So they've got to be on it. They've got to be really, really on it. And if we go to Callum Boomer, he put, if you could have any Premier League player, old or new, to play in your team, who would you pick and why?
Paul Scholes. He was hard tackling, could pass the ball 2 yards, 25 yards, 30 yards. And he can score goals.
Yeah, he could.
He'd get in anybody's team for me.
Yeah. I'll put a cat amongst the pigeons. It's not Steven Gerrard though, is he?
Better than Gerrard.
So, honestly, Danny, since you've been here, it's bizarre because when you first came, you was quite a young kid.
Yeah.
And you know, I've seen you obviously over a decade almost.
Yeah.
Like you've been at the club, and I've seen you develop, and I've seen you become a manager. We've become closer through the management side of it.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have barbecues at yours.
We do.
At the end of the season. And I think when I played for the Rangers with Toby that year, I think that sort of there was more of a relationship from that year.
Yeah, you helped me out a lot. So.
And you management wise, how have you found the other managers at the club? Have they supported and stuff as well?
Overall, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been times where it's been a bit difficult. Nick taught me into staying not that long ago because I'd had enough. That was at the beginning of the season. But yeah, overall everyone has been really good, and now managers looking to me for a bit of experience, so that's always nice as well. So yeah. And
next season, you've got another challenge ahead of you.
Yes.
Another challenge which is going to be exciting as well. Do you prefer to manage or play?
I prefer to play.
Do you?
Yeah.
So if you had the opportunity, it'd be like I'd have to play over managing, and that would be it. Or do you think you'd regret not managing?
No, because I've got the nice balance now. Because I play on a Saturday, manage on a Sunday. I only really play on a Sunday if I can put myself on the bench, or if.
Can you put yourself in the team all the time?
I don't.
He does. He does.
I don't. only if I can.
And just before we go, because we haven't got long left now, you love a 30-yarder, don't you?
Oh yeah.
What's your favourite goal?
Probably my debut, and it was a tapping at the back post.
Really?
It was the first one.
Way back then?
It was the first one, so yeah.
And it wasn't your debut?
It was the game after.
Right, honestly, Danny, it's been an absolute pleasure. You know, you and Sarah, in my heart all the way. I think you're absolutely a cracking couple. I think you've done wonders for what you've done with the teams and stuff. You might find it hard at times, but you've been absolutely brilliant, and I don't want you to forget that. So when you do go through those hard times, just remember it. And there's your 20 minute look at that for timing. So honestly, thanks very much, and thanks for coming in. And this was Unscripted, Stringer. Come on.